You can probably tell by the title, but today we're going to be talking about YouTube for business and why I personally think that if you're not already creating video content for your business, you should be. You've heard the saying, a picture's worth 1,000 words. Now, I want you to kind of reflect and think about just how many pictures are in a video. Can you imagine how many words a video may be worth? Regardless of how many words that you actually speak during a video, I think we all know that video is one of the best ways that you can get across your intention, your tonality, and everything that you mean when you're speaking. It's the closest you can kind of recreate to being face to face with somebody. So you get to pick up on all of those non-verbal cues that happen. You get to see the person that you're speaking with. So from video, you can pick up on the emotions and the intention that the storyteller is trying to put across, versus if you were just reading a blog or looking at a picture that they may have created. This is what makes video such a powerful marketing tool, but it is astounding to me how many businesses don't fully utilize it. And even further from that is the actual power of YouTube itself as a platform. So grab yourself a coffee, a notebook, and probably your smartphone or camera, because as soon as this video is finished, you're going to want to hop straight on and start recording. I hear all of the time from potential clients that my ideal customer isn't on Facebook. My ideal customer doesn't use social media. And this transfers to YouTube as well. I've heard people who use social media brilliantly say that, no, I don't need to do video because my customers don't use YouTube. I have some news for you. They do. YouTube is the second biggest search engine in the world. Not Bing, not Yahoo, not any of the others that you may have heard of and that you're aware that some people do use, but YouTube. YouTube is the second biggest search engine. I just have to say that again so that it kind of sinks in. There are over 1.3 billion users. So tell me again, not one of those 1.3 billion users are going to be your potential customers? So I really do think that YouTube and video content can be used to gain search traffic just as much as blog posts can. But I will say, to make sure that your YouTube videos get seen and don't get kind of lost within the crowd, you do need to make sure that your SEO is on point. So whether that's that you're making sure to utilize keyword utilization and tags, or that you're choosing videos that are in a topic or a niche that will get picked up. So if you're struggling with this, you will know that I love and abide by the tool TubeBuddy. So there is a link in the description below for you to download. It's completely free. It'll help you get a little bit more insight into what you should kind of be making. Now, point number 2 is intent. I always say that your customers want to find you when they find you through something like YouTube. Compared to social media platforms like Instagram or Facebook, where you may decide to kind of follow somebody, but when you're realistically scrolling through your feed, you're not particularly interested, you might not actually click on it, you might not take a look, you might not be engaged with that content. With video, especially if you're creating video for a business and it's relatively new, 9 times out of 10, people are only going to find you if they're actually searching for what it is that you're talking about. So whether that search term is like how to install a kitchen sink or the top 5 tips to video editing like a pro, they've searched that term. So they're already engaged with you. They're already a little bit warmer than trying to connect to somebody who's just stumbled upon your Facebook page. Number 3, why you absolutely have to consider making video, is engagement. I could go on about this for ages, so I'm going to try and set myself a bit of a time limit. But if you've been in the marketing world for a while, or if you've been aware of kind of what's going on, you'll know that maybe 10, even 20 years ago, it was like image is the new trend. Image is the thing that you have to do. So almost everybody had a graphic, a really swanky graphic, or a stock image, or a even professional picture that they'd had taken that they were using to represent their business. And it worked wonders, because before that there was so much just text that when images came into play, people were engaged and they were like, oh, something new, like this is something different. Whereas now Images don't really do that anymore. People very quickly accustom to things. So I do feel that the general public have kind of adjusted to images, and now they're just meh. Like, you see a cool graphic, you keep scrolling, you don't even necessarily stop to look at it that much. Now it's almost that video does that. And I will say we're maybe a little bit late on that trend to be that specific, but video still does definitely have more of an impact than images, and people do kind of stop. I call it thumb stopping. They're kind of scrolling along and then they stop scrolling when they see a video, and they'll at least take a couple of seconds to look at it. And people prefer to learn and listen by video than they do by writing. So viewers will retain 95% more of a message when they hear it through video versus if they were to read it. 95%. Imagine writing a page worth of content. That's basically like saying people will only read the first 5 sentences, right? Whereas if you give them the video, they'll read everything but the first 5 sentences. So the amount of content that people will pay attention to, the amount of more of your messaging that you can get across, it's astounding. I honestly can't preach this enough. If you can't tell, make videos now. And here's another stat. There was a survey done where 72% of potential customers said they would rather learn about a product or service by hearing about it in a video than they would by reading sales text. So that takes us on to the next step, which is conversion. YouTube has increased traffic, increased engagement, and even increased shares. Like, YouTube often isn't the place where the content ends. People will share your video on Facebook, on Twitter, and even yourself. You can share your video by embedding it into your blog or sharing it on your own social media channels, putting it out in your email shots. Like, this is just the source content that you can then push elsewhere. So this increased engagement can really, really help you acquire new customers. You've heard me talk about sales funnels before, this know, like, trust element. What do you think's easier way to get people to get to know you, to like you, and to trust you than them actually seeing you and the way that you interact? So please, if you have been on the fence, start and think about how you can turn video into what you do with your business. Now, I'm going to literally turn the camera off at this point because I've explained to you why you should do this, why you need to consider going and creating YouTube videos or video content for your business. But I'm quite literally going to turn the camera off and straight back on again and film a video about how to do it. It can be so overwhelming for people on how to create this video content. Where do you start? Do I need fancy cameras? Do I need a cool setup? How do you do this if you've never done it before? How do you know what to say? So I'm going to answer all those questions because, believe it or not, I've done lots and lots of consultancies with business owners and I've talked them through these exact same things, and there's always very similar answers. So stay tuned, and that's going to be coming next Saturday. Talk about video in specific.